Sethians, greetings to you all. Today, we reflect on the independence of Ghana, an event that reshaped history. Family, let's dive into this as we switch to the AI generational voice to explore today. So, the 6th of March 1957 independence wasn't just another declaration of freedom, but a historic moment that transformed the whole African continent. Friends, imagine a country gaining independence before Ghana, yet still being ruled by its former colonial power. That was the reality for many African nations before Ghana. Some had achieved a form of self-governance, but their political and economic systems remained tied to their colonizers. Their so-called independence still had conditions, oversight, and European influence. Ghana, however, was different. In 1957, it became the first sub-Saharan African nation to break free fully. Friends, free fully and completely from colonial rule. Kwame Nkrumah and the people of Ghana didn't just negotiate for partial control, they severed the colonial ties entirely, establishing a nation that would govern itself without interference. Now, you might be wondering, wasn't Egypt independent in 1922? Or what about Liberia, which had been independent since 1847? Egypt's independence was only partial. Britain still controlled its military and major economic decisions until 1952. Although Liberia, an independent republic, had deep economic and political ties to the United States that limited its true sovereignty. These cases were not full, unrestricted independence like Ghana people, making their independence a groundbreaking. It wasn't just about one country gaining freedom, it was about leading the way for the rest of Africa. Nkrumah understood this deeply, which is why, on that historic day, he declared, "The independence of Ghana is meaningless unless it is linked up with the total liberation of the African continent." And that's exactly what happened. Their bold move sent shockwaves across Africa, sparking independence movements everywhere. And by the 1960s, over 30 African nations had followed Kwame Nkrumah's example, pushing for their own freedom. Ghana had set the blueprint. It was no longer a question of if colonial rule would end, but when. Kwame Nkrumah stood before the people and proclaimed, "At long last, the battle has ended. And thus, Ghana, your beloved country is free forever," he said. And today, we celebrate not just the liberation of one nation, but the beginning of a new era for Africa. Ghana was the first to break free fully, without colonial oversight, without conditions, without strings attached. So friends, on this Independence Day, let's remember the significance of this moment, not just for Ghana, but for Africa and the world. Wishing you all a wonderful day. Peace.